Hey, what's up guys? My name is Tom Spark and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be discussing if you need antivirus in 2021 going on in the upcoming years. Is antivirus still essential? Do you still need it? Is it kind of useless? We're going to discuss that in this video. Hey guys, why I don't believe you need a paid antivirus, and I'm going to explain why in this video. I do recommend using a paid VPN service, and here on the channel I've reviewed over 60 plus VPNs, giving you the most accurate and unbiased rating system that exists for VPNs. Go ahead and check it out on vpntierlist.com if you want to help support this video. One other thing guys is that when I reference antivirus in this video, primarily I will be referring to paid antivirus, or the normal kind of antivirus you would think of when referencing the term. Stuff like Kaspersky, Norton, Bitdefender, ESET, Panda, Sophos, all these antivirus are what I would dub antivirus or paid antivirus programs. So guys, one of the reasons I decided to make this video is because I've seen the idea floated around by people that antivirus is still very popular. A lot of people are still using antivirus. It's still an essential tool that you need in your toolkit to stay safe online and to keep your computer secure. However, for me, I'm someone who hasn't really used a serious antivirus program for probably the last 10 years or so. And there are a lot of reasons for this, but throughout this entire time, I've never had a virus or any kind of issue with my computers related to viruses. Now, throughout this entire time, I've used Malwarebytes as well as the paid version of Malwarebytes, which has like a live thing that kind of prevents you from going on and clicking on certain links or websites. Not only that, I've also been using Windows Defender, which is pretty much like an antivirus and firewall solution. But you can even just use the free version of Malwarebytes, which is like a malware scanner that removes malware, as well as Windows Defender, which is free. So in some ways, having a complete protection that is free has been something that I've been using for a pretty long time, and I've been completely okay. But some people might make the argument, that it's not as good as a fully fledged paid antivirus. But my argument to that would be, how do you define good? Most people would point to Windows Defender and these other free tools as not being good because they're not ranked on websites, or they're not rated as highly or recommended by anyone who talks about antivirus. All it takes is going to all these generic websites like this one, recommending you to use Norton, McAfee, Bitdefender, all these other ones. I mean, if you look at the ownership of this website, it's already owned by Cape Technologies. So would you really trust websites like this to recommend antivirus when they're owned by companies that could have a conflict of interest? Not only that, but it's ironic because Cape, Crossrider, these companies have really bad reputations if you Google them. Being involved with adware and malware production and stuff like that. You can find lots of articles if you just Google, Cape, Crossrider malware. But it's ironic because they now own this website that recommends security products like antivirus. Very weird, right? All these corporate magazines are recommending you these paid antivirus that you don't really need. But if you do your research, you could find some rare articles actually telling you that Windows Defender is really good enough. In this article that I did find after did a little bit of digging around in 2019, according to a German independent research, Windows Defender was actually one of the top products, receiving a perfect 6 out of 6 in terms of protection, performance, and usability. It shared the same honors with stuff like Kaspersky, Norton, and F-Secure, but that said, Microsoft software had significant advantage over those three. That is, it's free. According to this test and these results, which is ironic because you could find this results here, but if you look at, and you can see the results here, look, pretty much 100%, 97, 99. But if you go to this website itself and go to this page, for some reason Windows Defender isn't listed here at all. So that just goes to show you, what the hell is going on. Not even listed. I couldn't find it. I did a search, not anywhere there. And then you go on the same website and look, it's just as good. But firstly, I kind of want to take a look at the idea, how many people are still using antivirus? Is it on the decline? This would be something that's kind of hard to analyze without like making some kind of research poll or something like that scientifically. But if we take a look at Google search trends, this gives us a good indication of a general downtrend in terms of people searching for antivirus. So you can look at the term antivirus, and you can see back in 2004 it was extremely popular. And before the 90s going up to this time, it seemed more important for computers because people just generally didn't have the knowledge of what not to do on the internet. Not only that, but Windows and all the different operating systems at the time weren't as secure. It was just kind of like the Wild West. And I think most of the problems and most of the viruses that people were getting back then is because people just didn't really know what they were doing. And the people creating viruses in these sketchy websites were able to trick people into downloading viruses much easier. So if we look at this kind of macro trend here, we can see antivirus on a general decline to where it is now. We also have a brand like Bitdefender, which has pretty much been here the entire time. And if you zoom out, you can also see that at its peak, it got here, and it's just been going down since 2006. So the term antivirus, the general kind of terms, as well as the brands themselves, most likely are following this pattern. So from this, I could reasonably assume that antivirus is not as popular as it once was. People aren't searching for it as much, probably aren't using it as much either. And not only that, but I think I can make that assumption pretty well, because if you look at all the antivirus solutions out there, Norton, Bitdefender, all these different antivirus things, that are all kind of integrating add-ons to make their product more useful. They're adding VPNs, they're adding hack scans to check if your email's been hacked. All sorts of these little add-on components to make the product like, hey, you really need this because it has everything that you might need. And people might not really think they need antivirus anymore. So I think there is something to be said that antivirus generally just isn't used as much or wanted as much as it once was. Additionally, we've also seen the advent of mobile technology. In fact, most iPhones are pretty resistant to viruses as well. And most of the antivirus programs, if you put them on your phone, they don't actually remove viruses or anything like that, or even really scan. They're mostly just side components, like they'll kind of make sure you don't get any calls or something like that I've seen. But they don't really do anything on iPhone, and more people are using iPhones and mobile technologies like iPads that antivirus isn't really needed there either. Additionally, I think that as antivirus has become less popular, people have gotten more aware of what not to do online. There have been also other tools that are more important than antivirus. I would say probably one of the most important things you can use is a password manager, because it's much more common to have your stuff hacked by having a weak password than by getting a virus on your computer. Most people have simple passwords, and it's pretty easy to be a part of a leak, and people get files of all the different passwords that have been a part of a data leak, and it's very easy to get into accounts this way. So having a password manager, I think, is the most important thing. Not only that, but VPNs have also been increasingly important too, to protect your internet privacy online, so your ISP can't see what websites you're browsing. They also protect your IP and give you some level of anonymity as well while browsing the internet. I think consumers just generally don't have as much time to really tick every single box. So instead of just getting antivirus, they might decide instead to just focus on a password manager or VPN or something like that, and decide they don't really need antivirus if they're just going to be on their phone most of the time, or maybe using a Mac, or even using Linux, which can't really get that many viruses either. So at the end of the day, do I think you still need antivirus in 2021? Well, I think for the basic internet savvy user, I don't really think you do. A combination of Malwarebytes scanner as well as something like Windows Defender should be good for the most part. However, that said, there are things you should keep in mind not to get a virus. And like I said, I think this is one of the reasons we've seen antivirus decline, because people are generally just more educated on how to use the internet, how to use their computers than they were when antivirus were in their prime. Here's some quick education. Don't click on links in emails. Don't download sketchy files. Try not to use a laptop on a public Wi-Fi hotspot. Always update your operating systems and programs. Don't use weak passwords. Don't visit fake websites or sketchy websites. Don't click on malicious ads or sketchy ads or pop-ups. And do not use unpatched software. There are also some other annoyances I have with antivirus, like compatibility issues, resource hogging. Sometimes antivirus causes issues with my VPNs. Some of the firewall stuff causes issues, and it proves to be a really big headache. Sometimes they're overzealous in not doing certain things, like I was testing out ESET a while ago, and it would be kind of anal about like, oh, OBS is trying to use your webcam. Do you want it to allow it? These kind of things are just annoying and not stuff I need to be really worrying about. So that's another reason why I don't think they're worth it. They just cause more headaches. And yeah. Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion though. If you like antivirus and you think it makes you more secure or you feel more safe using it, by all means, continue to do so and spend your own money the way you want to. But instead, I would recommend just some of the stuff. Common sense, as well as a combination of free tools, is going to probably be good for most people, especially if you're pretty internet savvy or computer savvy, or just kind of basic savvy. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you again very soon.